Look who it is. There's a whole bunch of folks here who want to talk to you.
About what?
About you screwing all of us over. Luca Petrelli doesn't send a message like that unless he means it. We're gonna end up fucked because of you.
Oh, come on. As if they'd have known. And I remember you whooping and hollering along with everybody else when you heard what happened to Malone.
Yeah, and I was saying we should have gone straight into the vault and taken it ourselves.
You know how fast Petrelli got in. He'd have killed anyone in there.
Exactly. But we can defend this place. He gotta be crazy to try something here.
He is crazy, that's the problem. Howard's right. Petrelli's not the kind to just sit around now that he's back in the game. He's gonna want everything. Everywhere we scavenge, every access point to Diamond City and Bunker Hill, everything we need to survive.
That's right. You get rid of one problem, all you're gonna get is something worse.
You really gonna put that on him? Let me ask you something. You know who Luca Petrelli is? Ever heard of him before you got here?
No, never heard of it.
Well, there you go.
That doesn't absolve them of any responsibility. Anyway, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about Nick. Mesa was right just now, sticking your nose into everything. Don't you have an off switch or something?
You talk that way to everyone who lends you a hand?
Yeah, you didn't hear Fred just now, did ya? They got rid of Frankie.
Yeah? Why was he out there in the first place?
Exactly. I don't even know why Larson let them down here. They shouldn't be here.
Hell yeah. Let's kick him out.
Jonah, sit down before you hurt yourself.
No, he's got a point. Let's kick them out.
Oh,
Yeah,
screw
get
you,
out of here,
Howard.
Nick.
You'd
Not
still be
gonna happen.
pissing yourself down here wondering when those guys were gonna move on us.
And you'd be happy to get us
Kick
all
him out.
killed.
Shut the hell up, Jonah.
All right, that's enough. I say we put it to a vote. Sound fair? Everyone who thinks Nick and his friends should stay, say aye.
Aye.
Well, that sounds like most of you to me. Looks like you folks are staying. Now you boys set your piece, okay? You want to carry on, you take it outside.
This is a mistake. We're all gonna get fucked. One way or another.
Sorry about that. Been a lot of talk about you and Nick the last few days. But I'm betting you've already been through all of that with Larson. Anyway, welcome to the sluice.
Thanks for the warm welcome.
Just count yourself lucky that the vote went your way. So, what can I do for you then?
I'm looking for someone.
Don't know anyone named Riley. How about you guys? Know anyone called Riley? 40s, brown hair?
No. Where's he from?
Diamond City.
Well, obviously I haven't been there in years. That's gonna be true for a lot of us. Can't say I remember anyone called Riley. It was a busy place back then. Too many people to know everyone by name.
And you get folks coming through, never giving their name anyways. At least not down here. Up top, McCoy checks everyone coming in. But I'm guessing you asked him already. Makes me wonder what name this Riley gave them then.
Yeah, me too. Anything else?
Says his brother was shot. So, what's the story?
His brother, Kyle, was about to kill him because he thought he was a synth. Guards shot him before he had a chance.
Jesus Christ.
You know, I think one of the caravan guards said something about someone turning on his brother in Diamond City. That was a while ago, though. Don't think he mentioned any names or nothing.
So is he?
Huh?
A synth?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Honestly, I'm not surprised. There's something about that city that gets people turning on their neighbors. More ghouls to point your fingers at, so now you just think everyone's a synth.
That's completely different. Synths are actually a threat. You never know when one of them's going to snap and come after you.
That's exactly what they said about us.
Anything else?
Says he was trading. Copper, vacuum tubes, and a Geiger counter.
Huh. The hell's he gonna do with all that?
Scabbing, maybe? Check the radiation in the tunnels as you go.
By himself? Sorry, Nick. If he's gone and done that, you ain't gonna find him.
Either way, if he was trading, you could try asking at the stalls. Sounds like the Murray and Griffiths might be your best shot.
Just know, they're having another one of their fights over there.
Yeah, we heard all about it.
Well, guess that's all we know. Anything else?
What can you tell me about this gang?
Well, you probably got the gist of it by now. Bunch of thugs clutching their machine guns who've moved into that vault at Park Street. Skinny Malone leaned on us a bit, but truth is, he was asking for so little, it was easier just to give it to him. He knew he didn't have the crew to try nothing else. You ask me, he didn't have the balls for it neither. But Petrelli, that's a whole different story. He's been in the game a long time. Everything from chems to, well, you name it. Had an empire stretching half the wealth. But disappeared a few years ago. Don't know why. Nobody knew where he went.
Guess he was just biding his time. Got the perfect opportunity when he heard about what happened to Malone. The problem is he's far worse than Malone. Back when he was running things, you'd see bodies strung up all over Boston. Probably doesn't seem like such a big deal now with all the raiders that came in from out west, but back when the Minutemen were around, it was a constant reminder. Anyone who crossed Petrelli didn't do what he wanted, didn't talk to him the right way, or didn't look at him the right way. So, Howard's right about one thing. Petrelli wouldn't have sent those guys for the hell of it. He sends you a message. He means it.
Yeah, but he ain't got the crew used to. So, I'd say all he's got these days is messages.
Well, let's hope.
Anyway, you got anything else?
Tell me more about this town of yours.
Janice? You know the history better than we do.
Anyone else, then I might take that as an insult. Well, I guess you could say the sluice has been here in one way or another for 200, 210 years, whatever it's been. Started out as a bunch of camps all along the tunnels after the bombs dropped. There's a few of us here from back then. Me, Fred, and Bonesy over there with the turrets. Amanda. We're pretty much the only ones who remember what it was like back then. And you're probably going to roll your eyes, and I know Andy will, but the stuff going on now, it isn't anything like what it was then. Back at the beginning. Seeing the whole world turn upside down. Seeing what people were really like when everything changed. All those wires straining to hold us up, snapping away, one after the other, until the whole thing comes crashing down. Seeing people turn feral and then turn into ghouls. Things you never forget. Gunners, the Institute, Petrelli, they've never kept me up at night. Never will.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah. So, like I said, there were a bunch of shelters and camps down here. You couldn't ever really stay in one place for too long, though. First it was the other camps coming after you, then it was the things coming out of the dark. After a while, people started going back to the surface. So did some of the monsters. Actually got a bit safer down here. People started building more permanent settlements. But it was still just a few tents and bits of scrap. That was the last I saw of it until I went up top and ended up in Diamond City. Then I'm sure you know about what happened with McDonough. We made it to good neighbor, but living under Vic and his gang wasn't much better than living with the bigots. A bunch of us who knew about this place came back. Did a deal with the folks already living here, and built up this place to what it is now. Sorry. I know you asked about the sluice rather than a life story, but there it is.
What happened to all the other people from Diamond City? Marlo, and Lloyd, and Ashley?
Sounds like you've been here before. Marlo kept saying he wanted to lead everyone out of the sewer and find a new home. Well, he did, in Quincy. Most of the people from Diamond City went with him. And I don't know if you've heard what happened there.
God.
Yeah.
Wow. Really bringing things down, Janice.
Yeah, sorry.
Maybe it ain't for everyone, but there's plenty good reasons to live here. You got routes to Bunker Hill and Diamond City without bumping into raiders, as long as you know which tunnels to stick to. Scabbing in all the tunnels and subways, at least the ones that ain't already taken over. Plenty of places out there that people ain't been to in years.
It's also cleaner than it used to be with water coming in from the Charles. But still, don't drink anything that hasn't been purified.
Well, guess that's about it. Anything else?
Can you help me get the lay of the land of this place?
Sure can. Most of what you need's in the main area here. You got all the traders. Weapons, chems, general goods. Fred's workshop across the way. You got the bar, of course. Drinks down here, rooms upstairs. Talk to Casey if you need to spend the night. Then you got the east and west sections. East is below you with the clinic and hydroponics. Access to Bunker Hill too. West is on the other side if you want to get to Diamond City. That's about it.
Tell me about these robots.
So you got roped into all that, huh? I ain't got a clue what's going on there.
McMurray's saying Griffiths damaged his robot, and Griffiths is saying McMurray stole his, right?
Bunch of bram and dung, if you ask me. Smashing up a robot without anyone hearing a peep. Huh. And this is the lieutenant we're talking about. Would have cut Griffiths to pieces after the first swing. And then, how do you hide a robot?
If you know what you're doing, you could deactivate a robot or reprogram one to run away.
You think either of them ever knows what they're doing?
Good point.
That's what McMurray's telling everyone, though. Penelope left because Griffiths was... you know.
If that's true, that's just, well, ugh, I don't know what that is.
All right, let's not get into that. But if she did leave, it would have been through the sewers.
In which case, she could be anywhere. Lordy, there's more than one sewer tunnel connecting into the sluice, and each one's pretty much a crazy maze of its own.
So what do you think happened to the lieutenant?
I don't know. But neither Fred or Michelle were able to fix him, so it's gotta be pretty serious.
Thing is, we need both those robots to scav in the tunnels. So if they really did do this to each other, it's gotta be about the stupidest thing they've ever done. And that's saying something.
Why would they do that?
They're always fighting about something or other. They blame each other for getting on a plane here the day before you know what. Britain probably didn't fare much better anyway. Funny thing is that if they're both blaming each other, whatever happened to those robots must have happened at the same time. But again, no one saw anything.
Well, guess that's all we know. Anything else?
That's all for now.
Well, later then.
Beat it.
Nick,
You need something?
how are we doing?
Got no major complaints at the moment.
Never mind.
I never imagined a place like this.
Yes. Looks like we got another freak just won't fit anywhere else.
Hey,
Viewpoint, I shoot.
excuse me, Paladin Vance?
What's the matter?
Your thoughts?
If we want to win the people's hearts and minds, we have to spread the word of Brotherhood across the Commonwealth.
How do you think things are between us?
You've earned my respect, soldier. I hope that means something to you.
Nothing else I needed.
Affirmative.
Heard Roberta got the formula for smooth operator from a Raider amusement park out west. Can't think of anything worse than a goddamn Raider amusement park.
Good boy, don't have no handouts.
Okay, let's get these turrets up and running. We'll let Faisal and Michelle argue about where to go. And let me know if you got any problems with the gears on that one. Still got a few more to sort out.
Sure.
Whoa. Smell that? That's freedom.
Hey,
Hey there. Thanks for taking care of those goons. Larson was sure they were gonna try to shoot their way in here any day now. Don't know if they would have succeeded, but luckily, we don't have to find out.
do you get a lot of attacks like this?
No, not really. Not above ground, anyway. Most people don't see past an old abandoned store. If they do, they can't get past the reinforced door. The rest get a face full of these things when they come through. And we've got more of them down here to stop whatever's lurking in the sewers. Which, I guess, includes Luca Petrelli's men now.
At least you're safe now.
Caitlin, I thought that was you. Been a long time. How's life on the road?
Good. I ended up staying in Milton. Found a new teacher. Speaking of which, I heard about Ashley and a bunch of people heading down to Quincy.
Yeah. Not many Diamond City folks left here. Mary, Ben, a few others. Larson and Michelle and some others are from one of the farms before the Minutemen fell apart. Sorry. I didn't mean to...
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Go on.
Yeah. And then there's some people from Good Neighbor, some from as far up as Salem, and then Mason's from D.C., you know, the capital wasteland.
What about you?
Me? Well, I'm pretty much from right down here. Found shelter in the tunnels after the bombs dropped, just like Ponzi over there.
Hey,
There's always been a few settlements here and there in the sewers and subway tunnels over the years, but none of them ever lasted very long.
always had to be ready to pack up and go at any moment.
Luckily, it's easy to stay hidden in miles of tunnels and the bandits come calling. Worse. But it was only when the folks from Diamond City and Good Neighbor got pushed here that we actually made something last. And here we are. So, what do you think?
How come I've never heard of this place?
Well, we try not to broadcast ourselves out there too much, which is why we decided against the giant neon sign outside the gun store. Either way, from what I'm told, people in Diamond City don't talk about the rejects in Good Neighbor too much. And since a lot of the folks here were rejects from Good Neighbor when Vic was around, well, I'd say that puts us pretty low on the totem pole, which is just the way we like it. So, what do you think?
It looks like you've done well for yourselves.
Thank you. After the last 200 years, I'd say it's something to be proud of. At least it doesn't smell too bad down here anymore. Or so I'm told. So, what brings you to the sluice?
I'm looking for someone.
Don't know anyone named Riley. We're usually open to traders, apart from the last couple. Description sounds like a couple of people I've seen come and go, but I can't really say for sure. If he was trading, try asking Griffiths and McMurray. They trade general goods by the big pipe. Either side of the water, just try not to get caught up in one of their fights. Other than that, there's the bar across the way, the cam and equipment stores either side, or Mary in the clinic just below it.
I know Larson and McCoy keep records of things going on up top, so you might find something there as well. I'm afraid that's all I've got.
Thank you. That is helpful.
Sure thing. Well, I'd better get back to it. Good luck.